Houston Running Zone, the ultimate podcast for runners in the Houston area, featuring the everyday runners who inspire us, clubs, gear, races, and runcations. Houston, we've got the runs.
All right, today in the zone, I have an amazing volunteer, runner, and of course, all-around awesome person here to talk to us about an upcoming inspirational run. And of course, more information about the Snowdrop Foundation is Traci Duck. Welcome to the zone, Traci.
How are you doing today, Keith?
Awesome. Better now. I know we've already been having fun before we hit record, which I always want to hit record earlier, but that's all right.
You should have. No, maybe not. We don't want people to hear what I said.
A lot of beeping out. Okay.
There you go.
Well, last week I had the Texas Independent Relay co-race director on, Jay, and of course his wife Joy, making an awesome team. But the Snowdrop Foundation, I definitely want to get more information about the Snowdrop Foundation. But first of all, I really kind of want to get with, you guys have a different twist. So the Snowdrop Foundation is putting on a kind of a different twist for the Texas Independence Relay, which is normally a relay. That's kind of in the name. And it's 185 to 200 miles, kind of depends on the different routes. So can you kind of fill us in as far as what the Snowdrop Foundation is doing?
Yes. Well, we had just finished up our Delivering Hope adventure in Alaska. And one of the two runners that ran that, Scott Tyner, I guess was bored during the pandemic. And he just decided one day, he was reading about the Texas Independence Relay, and he called me up and said, "Hey, I'd like to do the Texas Independence Relay." I'm like, "Yay, I'll get some people." He goes, "No, I want to do it solo." "Oh, would you like to do that?" Yeah. So I'm like, "Okay, well, let's talk about that." And so Scott Tyner's going to do the 185 miles from Gonzales to Brenham solo.
That's like 2 Ultra 55 relays or races by themselves. How's the logistics going to work on that?
Well, whenever we have something crazy that somebody wants to do, the first call we make is to Brian Anderson, the Snowdrop Foundation crew chief, because he is the king of the spreadsheets. So he spreadsheets it all out, and then
is he a NASA guy?
Yes. Yes.
My.
And so 3 times a day, you get the updated spreadsheet. We're on update 47 now. We've only been working on this for a week. So he plans down to the minute from the start from Gonzales to the end. And Scott basically just has to run.
He talked about Delivering Hope, which was that November of 19?
2019, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And kind of fill us in about Delivering Hope. Well, that's actually probably the first time I met you in person was some of the fundraising events for Delivering Hope, which was Delivering Hope was in Alaska. Kind of fill us in as far as, well, let's even back up. See, I told you the podcast host goes crazy. The Snowdrop Foundation raises money for, is it scholarships for pediatric cancer survivors?
It's a threefold mission of the Snowdrop Foundation. It's to raise awareness for pediatric cancer. It's to raise money for research for Texas Children's, and it's also for scholarships. So that is what we're trying to do, just eradicate pediatric cancer and doing anything we can do to make that come to pass. As
one of the events was Delivering Hope. So you kind of fill us in what Delivering Hope was. It was crazy.
Yes, it was crazy. So it was an 18-month campaign where we had set out originally to raise $50,000. And then we decided maybe that was just underselling the Snowdrop Nation. So we had a goal of $100,000. And when the 18 months was over and we calculated everything, we actually raised $325,000 for pediatric cancer. So that was our biggest and most successful by far fundraising campaign that we've done with Snowdrop. And Scott Tyner was just a big part of that, because the race started out, the run in Alaska was on the Dalton Highway, which is the road the ice truckers run on. And Kevin wasn't able to finish that on his own. So Scott took up the baton for that, took up the torch, and was able to help get the backpack with the kids' names to the top of the world at the Arctic Circle. So Scott wants to continue that momentum and do this race to continue the fundraising for the kids.
And there's a kind of a lot of symbolism there, because it was in November. Like, Alaska is beautiful in June. Can you kind of fill us in there? I know you're part of the team that helped put it together, and you went there because you're like, wow, I could wear a parka.
Yeah. And, our church is in the middle of a fast, so I've given up cussing for 21 days, but it was blankety blank cold in Alaska. Just a horribly bitter cold. And you're right about the symbolism. It was so overwhelming and it was dark and it was dreary. And you just get depressed in that kind of weather. It's definitely gave us a little bit small taste of what pediatric cancer kids go through, just a teeny taste. But it was a very powerful place to be, knowing that somehow we have promised these kids that their name is getting up there. And we've just got to get together as a team and get it done. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. I like to say, teeny, 1/100th of 1%.
Yes.
Of what they experience. And I think we feel more grateful because I've done a lot of your events, races and things like that. Yep. And it just really kind of, whoo.
Well, just even we are a small foundation, and even like the beer tasting, the wine tastings that you came to. I mean, those people's houses were packed with people that had come because they wanted to help end pediatric cancer. I mean, they had a good time with the wine tasting and beer tasting, but they were coming because they put kids first and they wanted to end the suffering of kids. I mean, that was just what was so cool to see in our fundraising events.
Yes. And I believe it was at the wine tasting when Kevin Klein was talking about, they follow the 80-20% rule. It's more of like 85-15. It's amazing that at a small scale that they can give back 80 to 85% of the money coming in, which is really hard to do as a small company. A big company, you have leverage. Small, hard.
Right. When we started out the Delivering Hope campaign, we started a Facebook page and we had 0 followers. In 18 months, we had 4,400. And it was those 4,400. One of the neatest stories I think I've heard from a fundraising aspect is we kept doing fundraising while we're in Alaska. And people, banks and credit cards were calling them saying, what's going on? We keep seeing $5 and $10 and $15 donations like every hour. Has your card been stolen? And it was people were giving that much to the campaigns that we were having each day.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I know they rely heavily on volunteers, whether it's monetary or, things you can do as things open kind of, back up. But so I think, was it like a leg thing? Was it a frostbite? What made him, I know he wanted to do the whole thing, but there was a plan B. Right.
He just hit a place where he wasn't able to continue. And literally, Scott put on his shoes and he didn't even bring shoes to wear on the ice road. He just had regular old trail shoes out there and jumped out and finished the 35 miles for that day. And then from that day forth, he and Kevin split the run. And one of the things I think that was so powerful is you have all these kids messaging you like, is my name going to get to the top of the world? And it seemed like such a silly thing. They're naming a backpack and we're putting it at the top of the world. But man, it meant so much to those kids and family that it was kind of like, if we have to drag the backpack, we're getting there.
Yes. And it was kids that were going through, as I know there's some kids with their angel wings as well.
Yes.
A couple of names that I unfortunately recognize, but part of it. So, Scott took over and was kind of a part of the team. I kind of made the team. It was all about kind of the mission.
And I have to tell you, as a fundraiser, it was devastating when Kevin couldn't finish. But as a fundraiser, I was kind of excited because then we had the whole team concept. We had hey, look, pediatric cancer kids don't go through this alone. So now we had Kevin and Scott working together, just like pediatric cancer kids and their families. And honestly, that is when the fundraising just took off those next 3 days. We raised $40,000 in 5 days. I mean, that's unheard of from a small organization. And just the fact that Scott was able to carry that burden was incredible. And that's why I'm so excited about his solo run for TIR, because I have seen that Scott can do the impossible. And so we are super excited. When Scott called me, he's like, I kind of would like you to, be part of the fundraising and the social media. I said, what do you think the Lord's telling you to raise? He's like, $5,000. Well, my big mouth says, well, that sure sounds low. Why don't you ask him again? So he said 10,000. And, then last week he's like, I think we can do 18,500. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to agree with this, but let's stop. But it just shows you just how excited Scott is. And Scott wants to do all he can do for kids.
You are in the Houston running zone. We've got the runs.
One of the neatest things Scott said is I am shy. I don't like to talk to strangers. I can't talk to strangers. But when it comes to Snowdrop, I can talk to anybody. And so that was just a cool thing that Scott shared.
It was 18,500, so that's 185 miles for the 185th anniversary of Texas independence.
That's right.
Times, so you need, I think you're kind of asking for a certain amount. Is it $18.50? So we get 1,000 people to do that?
There you go. There you go. For the next 18 days, we're doing $18.50. And then when that 18 days is over, we have another campaign coming up as soon as I make it up. So,
well, no donation is too big, obviously, right, or too small. I mean, it all adds up.
It does. And we're trying to be cognizant of the world we're in right now. There's so many people that just economically aren't able to give as much as they used to pre-pandemic days, but they still want to give. So we're trying to keep everything small so that everybody can take ownership and be included in this campaign.
Yeah, easy. That's good. Now, how can people support? Because I'll forget. So how can people start supporting as of right now? And if they hear this after it's over, okay, well, Snowdrop is going to continue regardless. What's the best way?
Right now, the best way is to go to Snowdrop Foundation on Facebook, because that's where we're posting about the solo run. Also, 365 days a year on the Snowdrop Foundation page on Facebook is what we're doing next, what they can do to give. When it comes scholarship time, we ask for more money for scholarships. So I would say the best way is the Snowdrop Foundation Facebook page. And as far as Road to Independence, you are going to hear a lot about it and see my face and Brian Anderson's face a lot, because we're going to start doing our live streams coming up next week. That'll be pretty regular.
Oh, super, super cool. Now, Snowdrop Foundation, we'll just kind of go a little bit deeper since you've been involved. How long have you been kind of volunteering with them?
I think 8 years from the first Ultra 55.
Oh my goodness. So I actually originally found out about Snowdrop via like a news segment. I don't even watch the news, but it was like upcoming on the news. And it was Kevin kind of doing one of his crazy things. Like, I'm going to run a marathon every day for like a week or something.
Yes.
I don't remember that. And then of course I ran I've been involved with a lot of their stuff, but can you kind of give us like a brief, how did the Snowdrop Foundation start? Because I think that's really important so people kind of know about it.
Kevin was doing the radiothon with the radio station at Texas Children's, and he kept noticing this young lady talking with the pediatric cancer kids and bringing them juice. And so he thought she was a candy striper. Towards the end of the radiothon, he was able to introduce himself. And he's like, how long have you been volunteering? And the young lady looks at him and says, I'm here because I'm a pediatric cancer patient. And her name was Traci Campbell. And over the weeks and months, she and Kevin just became close. He became close with their family, Sandy and JL. And for Chelsea's 16th birthday, the doctors didn't expect her to live to her 16th birthday, but Chelsea was determined she was going to. And she did. And Kevin and Trish gifted her the Snowdrop Foundation. And then it went from there. Chelsea did unfortunately pass away, but her spirit and her heart, there's not anybody in Snowdrop that every single event doesn't think, we got this, Chelsea. We're doing this for you, Chelsea.
Wow. They have is it Chelsea 5K? There's a lot of races that go on with the Snowdrop.
They are. They have the Chelsea's 5K. We have coming up in July 31st. And I think you might have come to that. I can't remember. The Dreadmill Tell You Snowdrop.
Yep.
Yep. July 31st.
I brought beer.
There you go. There you go. July 31st we'll be having the Dreadmill Tell You Snowdrop fundraising event. And basically it's 24 hours on a treadmill, relay style, and have fun. The treadmills might work or they might not work, but you just keep running. We've learned a lot since our first misadventure doing that. But even with that, we raised $25,000 just because people had a blast. That's one thing about Snowdrop. Every event is like a family reunion. We're so excited about the event we have coming up March 6th. We're going to be at the Saloon Door Brewery. Pam and Paul Hill are helping us organize that because we haven't seen each other. We didn't have the Ultra 55. It's been a year, 18 months since some of us have seen each other. And we're just going to get together, drink some beer, raise some money, and have a good time.
All right. Terrific. Well, I'll definitely pick your brain as far as for more races upcoming. I'll bug you again, as I like to do. But yeah, you mentioned the Ultra 55, which was normally over New Year's Eve. Now, was it 2019? I saw you decided to run that as well.
I had a team. We had a team, relay team, and we actually came in first place and beat Patty Godfrey's team. And I always want to make sure I say that just to aggravate her, but also because she's a great sport. Patty's a great sport. The thing about Patty is if it helps the kids, go ahead, beat our team. But yes, no, I was scheduled to run this year. And then it went virtual. So I've deferred to next year.
Okay. Terrific. Yeah, I learned my lesson the first year, so I'm relay only. No. Relay only. 81%. That's a B-, people.
There you go.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, even the relay is tough. It's like, okay, is it my turn again? Please, did everybody else go?
We always make the new people do the 3 a.m. shifts.
There you go. Yep. There you go. Initiation.
I know they're not going to listen to this. The last thing I want to do is hear this guy's voice again. So they're not going to listen to the podcast. I mess with them all the time.
Yeah. Well, one thing too that, I just wanted to make sure I shared, Jay and Joy from TIR have been amazing. We've always kind of had a dream with Snowdrop, with kind of figuring something out to kind of do with them. And even though Scott's officially not under TIR, we have to do it separately. They have been so amazingly encouraging and supportive. So I just want to make sure I gave Jay and Joy a shout out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The TexasIndependenceRelay.com, of course, at the previous episode. Awesome people. I've done that race, I think, 4 times, and we had to miss 1 year, and of course, the virtual year. Yeah. And then kind of one more time, you go to Snowdrop Foundation on Facebook to hear kind of everything about Snowdrop. Is that correct?
Exactly. Also, snowdropfoundation.org. They can get on the website and look. Just everything you need to know about Snowdrop. Or you know what? They can just reach out to me on Facebook.
Yeah, there you go. And they'll recognize the smiling face and the voice. Your voice
there
travels. I love it.
I know. I've heard. I'll go to places. We'll be traveling with Snowdrop, and I walk in the room, and people are like, "Oh, you're Traci." Not sure how I choose to take. Yeah, I choose to take that in a positive manner, but we'll see. Give me your wallets. Excellent. Get out your wallets. All
right. Well, starting last episode, we have a lightning round now. It's kind of a new thing. So be ready. Okay. It's normally quick fire, but then I end up yapping. So either way. So you ready for the lightning round?
Yes, I am.
All right, we'll do 3 questions for you. We'll be nice to you.
Okay.
All right, ready. Question number 1, your favorite after race food?
Taco Bell.
Nice. Question number 2, beer or wine?
Wine.
Oh, see?
Totally. Sparkling wine. Yep.
All right. Excellent. And the most important question number 3, your favorite pizza?
Marguerite, tomato, mozzarella.
Where from?
That's it. I think Gio's pizza. Well, no, let me take that back. Italy. How about Italy? I'm just going to change it to Italy. Because, Snowdrop did a race in Italy a couple years ago, and that's all I ate was pizza.
Okay. What's your favorite region of Italy for pizza? That's because it's like crazy over there.
You know what? Rome, flat out, right outside the Vatican, like little place right outside the Vatican.
Nice. Excellent. Good deal. Once again, Traci, thank you so much. And we'll definitely have you on welcome. For a future episode.
Yeah, please do. Take care. Thank you so much, Keith. I appreciate you.
Please remember, no donation is too small to give to the Snowdrop Foundation or really any charity you feel passionate about. If you like this episode and listen on Apple Podcasts, if you could rate us or even better, leave us a review. But more importantly, if you'd like to be notified of upcoming weekly episodes of inspirational runners, clubs, gear, races, and runcations, simply hit the follow or subscribe button. And as always, looking forward to sharing another episode next week.
Thanks for visiting the Houston Running Zone. If you know someone you'd like to be featured in the zone, go to thehoustonrunningzone.com and send us a message. Until next week, always remember, Houston, we've got the runs.